for coming along at an early hour to listen to the presentation. Thank you very much to Derek for the introduction as well. I think Derek got it spot on. We are interested in innovation in its widest sense. So we are interested in clever R&D and science and the application of new technologies, but we're also interested in doing things differently, doing things better ways to market, better ways of public service delivery, better ways of increasing the well-being as well as the wealth of Wales. So it's really very open. And we are very much in listening mode at the moment. We've decided that rather than go out with a semi-formed policy with all our best ideas, or what we think are our best ideas in, or a modification of what we've always done, but with a little tweak on it, and go out and say, you know, that's our consultation, what do you think? This is absolutely open. To format the response, we've got a series of 7 or 8 questions. On the Welsh Government website, you'll see the web address later. There are some copies of the consultation document as well, which you're free to take with you. Please respond. Without response, without evidence, without opinion, we can't change, we can't adapt, we can't find better ways of doing things. So please take the time to have a look at it. I think you could answer the questions if you really wanted to in 15, 20 minutes. You know, it's not an art. You could take all day about doing it if you so wish. But if you just want to go in, answer a question, answer one of the questions. You don't have to answer all 8 that are there. If there's something that you feel strongly about, just please let us know. Right, I'll go through a standard presentation that we use here. So we're in the process of what we call a call for evidence. We've gone out for a call for evidence for the reasons that I outlined, and we're very much interested in getting the best of the ideas that there are out there. It arises out of the launch of Science for Wales, which many of you will be familiar with. So Professor John Harries and the First Minister and the Minister for Bets, Mrs. Hart, launched Science for Wales in March. That deals very much with the lab R&D, the science, the clever ideas, the very bright people, the university research side of things. But it recognised that in order for Wales to be a successful and healthy and a country, there was more than just doing clever lab-based R&D. That's a very important part of it. But we need to exploit those ideas. We need to take ideas from research and development into implementation and commercialization. But as I said, we need to look at ideas that don't arise in a lab as well. Some of the most innovative ideas and wealth-creating sort of initiatives that have come up in the last 10 years will be things like comparison websites. There'll be EasyJet. There'll be different ways of delivering a service. The way that Rolls-Royce, for example, don't sell you an engine now, but they sell you power. So the contract is actually for motive power rather than an engine that's got your name on it. So there are different ways of delivering things to customers, different ways of looking at the world, different ways of addressing the societal challenges that all of us face: an aging population, health issues, a smaller public sector with less money to spend, different ways of reaching things, different ways of reaching students through universities, different ways of financing things. So please keep an open mind. We launched the call for evidence on the 30th of April, where in week 9, I think, of a 12-week consultation period. It ends at the end of this month on the 23rd of July. We have very little or no flexibility about that end date. So I think on the 23rd of July, midnight, the website shuts, and that's it. So please don't wait until the 24th. Please get your ideas in. And we're going around, we're running a lot of events like this. We're talking obviously to networks, to the universities, to businesses, to the social enterprise sector. Anyone that's willing to give us sort of house room in 20 minutes, we're going along and boring them about innovation and battering them with requests for responses. We've had a very good set of responses so far. probably, if we count meetings, over 50 or so. Generally, these things all come in the last week, so we're expecting a rush between the sort of 16th and the 23rd of July. But the earlier your views come in, the earlier that we can actually work on them and consider them. What are we going to do with these ideas? So, am I just going to take them off to a darkened room in CP2, look at the ones that I like and throw away the ones that I don't? That would be nice, but that's not the way it's going to work. The consultation is is through Welsh Government, so we're facilitating it. But the analysis of what comes back in will not be done by civil servants. We are putting together a panel of experts. We can't release the names of the people that we're considering at the moment because they haven't been personally approached, and we haven't had the Minister to approve those. But there will be a very credible and independent set of evaluators who will look at these ideas, so that it won't be a Welsh Government civil service sort of, well, yes, that's a good one, that's a bad one, that's too expensive. It'll be considered by a group of people who I think will carry some weight with everybody in this room. What we will do after this call for evidence is over, we'll come out with a second document which will incorporate the ideas that have come forward. So sometime during the early autumn, late summer, a second document will come out that will be have more form to it, more ideas, more proposals, basically reflecting what we've been told and what we've looked at. And then there'll be a second period of consultation during the summer on more detailed proposals. And then the idea is that before the year end, these ideas will be put together and we will have our final strategy. So you have got another chance, but if the ideas don't come forward at this stage, they can't be considered and put in that second document. So it is really important to tell us what you think. Good and bad, of course. What works, what doesn't work, what's missing. So here we are. Can't do this on our own. We need help to identify the issues. We can sit in the Welsh Government offices and we can say, well, everything's fine, that's great, we've done that, you know, we've met our targets, given out a few grants, we've got universities doing this, talking to businesses, happy days, everything is fine. On the ground, the situation, the perception might be entirely different. There might be big opportunities that we're missing. There might be, I am sure that is the case. There will be good practice elsewhere that the sort of people that we've got gathered here today in the network will be aware of that we just don't know about. Good ideas from the rest of Europe, from the Far East, from America, things that we could do here in Wales, but we're just not aware of because we're too busy with our day jobs. Let us know, please. And as it says on the slide, this is your genuine chance to influence the next innovation strategy. We haven't had a real innovation strategy in Wales since about 2003. It's wildly out of date. The intention is that this next strategy, although it will be refreshed and updated, is looking forward to 2020. So we're looking forward sort of 8 years in the future. We're looking to 2020. Why does it matter? Is it just a paper exercise? Is it just something that we're going to tick a box on? Yeah, we said we'd speak to the general population. We've gone out and spoken to them. They've told us some stuff, and that's job done now. Well, actually, this strategy, when it finally emerges, has the potential to be very influential and very important for Wales. The intention is that what we produce will be submitted to the European Commission as our regional innovation strategy for smart specialisation. So it's going to form the centrepiece of our proposals to the European Commission as to what Wales proposes to do for the next rounds of structural funding and for the next rounds of framework funding, the Horizon 2020 funding, both of which are coming in 2014. So in this document, we are proposing to inform the Commission the areas that Wales feels are especially important, where we can differentiate ourselves, what we're particularly good at, where we feel there are opportunities, where we are going to concentrate our investments over the next 6 6 to 8 years. So we're going to say what we are going to do, and by implication, that also tells us what we're not going to do. So it is very important. We're expecting the last round of structural funds was about £1.2 billion that came into the area. Across Europe, Horizon 2020 will be 80 billion. I haven't worked that out on Wales's what the population share, what we expect that to be. But there are large sums of money going into research, development and innovation that will be informed by what we write and what we put in this strategy. So it is important. It's not just a document to sit on the shelf with a nice picture of smiling politicians and civil servants on the front. This will actually dictate investment priorities for the coming years. So it's very important that we get it right. Right. In the consultation, we have tried, although we're not ruling anything out, there is question 8 you'll see is basically anything else you want to tell us. In order to make it easier for people to respond and to perhaps understand what the Welsh Government would find most useful, we've put a series of 8 questions there. We've got questions on vision, on support, on barriers. We've asked people to consider as well, although jobs and growth is a high priority for Mrs Hart and indeed for everybody in Wales, jobs and growth are a really important part of it, but there's also health and well-being, societal issues, living better. Has innovation got a place to play in those sort of issues? And it may be that we live a healthier and more fulfilling life through having better job opportunities and higher pay and greater prosperity. That might be the answer to it. But it might not be the whole thing. What do we expect a more innovative Wales looks like? If we look forward to 2020, what sort of Wales will we have? What will our employment mix look like? What will our industries look like? What will the balance between public and private sector look like? How will we be going about our daily businesses? What will transport look like? Distributed work, will we be all coming into the office between 9 and 5? Will there be more distributed working? Will there be better ways for businesses to reach their markets? Will we be delivering healthcare in a different way, or public services? The internet has been a huge revolution over the last decade. Looking forward another 10 years, what are things going to look like? And how can we best position ourselves with the powers that we have to make sure that Wales is exploiting opportunities, taking advantage of opportunities and creating its own opportunities? What are the barriers to do that? What's stopping people today doing those things? And is there anything that can be done to overcome those barriers? Not necessarily by government. Maybe by government, might not. Another thing that we're very important, question 4, we do run a set of interventions, if you call them, in innovation. We give people grants for research and development. We offer advice and assistance to people. We give universities money to work with businesses. We sometimes support networks. We don't support this one, but we do support networks. How good are these interventions? Are they any good at all? KTP programme, for example. Money that WEFL provides directly to applicants to run programmes. Has your organisation or you personally had any experience of those? Are there good bits we should build on? Are there some bits which are just complete and a waste of time and we should do away with? What works? What would you like to see more of? What would you like to see less of? It's your chance to tell us. How far should government be involved in the process? Traditionally, they've been quite involved, as have the universities as a very important part of the innovation ecosystem. What's the right balance for the future? How much should we do? How much should we just facilitate and enable? Should we just be there to de-risk? Should we be driving things? Should we be offering leadership? Tell us. Role for the universities, very important in this network. when you look across ideas coming out of Europe and coming out of the UK, the universities are placed right in the middle as drivers of the knowledge economy. Is that true? Probably true. I mean, almost certainly true. But in what way? Is it the R&D that universities do? Is it the skilled, experienced people that they've got that can help businesses with issues? Is it the production of intellectual property? Or actually, is the most important thing the production of a lot of very clever and motivated young people coming out of the universities, skilled to contribute to the economy? Is that their greatest role? And if that is, are our academic institutions producing people with the right skills and adaptability? There's a talk about teaching Victorian subjects and the like, somebody who did a Victorian type of subject. Is that correct? Do we need to look at what's being taught? Is that enough at 21? Is there a role for terms of graduates after they've graduated to continue accumulating skills and learning? Is there a role for interventions there? I don't know. I'm waiting for you to tell me. And question 8, is there anything else you can think of? As I say, talk to a number of bodies, networks, industry bodies and the rest that said, well, we'll have a good answer any questions, and we've got some views on question 2 and 3. Don't really care very much about the other ones. But I've got this report, or I've got this document, I've got this bit of best practice that I found out about when we're working with one of our collaborators in Finland or Mexico or wherever. Question 8 is your chance just to append or tell us anything else you think might be useful in shaping the environment, just to let us know. Again, emphasise, without the evidence and without the informed and intelligent opinion coming back into us, what are we going to base our policies on? It might very well be more of the same, or what's England up to. It's really, really important that if you like, we've outsourced the thinking on this and policy development. We've outsourced it to sort of people like yourselves. So let us know. The web address is on there. If you click on that when you have a chance, it'll go in. It'll bring up the set questions. We will, unless you tell us, publish all of these, so that they'll all be published at the end. If you particularly, if let's say you work for a company and you want to give a personal view and you don't want necessarily a managing director looking at your views, you can tick a box and we will not publish those comments. Although I must say, if we did have a freedom of information request come in, we wouldn't be able to withhold them, but we wouldn't positively sort of promote them. So as I say, we've got 2.5 weeks left. A lot of good stuff that's come in already, but I'm sure there's an awful lot of stuff that hasn't and needs to come in. Okay, that's my bit done.